In this episode, we're looking at Airplane Karen. I think that's what people call her. I'm telling you right motherfucking now, that motherfucker right there is not real. Everyone knows her. Everyone wants to know what she was seeing. And there's this 3-minute video on TMZ, which really doesn't really tell you that much. But yeah, there's this body language expert that turned the 3 minutes into 33 minutes. And God, these channels are so cringe. And I think he's somewhere at the top of the cringe list for body language videos. So we're going to critique the mentalist, the body language expertist. Let's see. So apparently she is here with TMZ and the video is 3 minutes and they'll ask her like, what did you see? Yeah, sorry, I cannot really tell you. All right. Can you really not tell us? No, I can't. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. That is it. That is basically it. So what can we conclude from this? Why is she standing there? She's wearing pretty much the same top or similar top. She's looking amazing. And that is why a lot of people are probably still interested in what is going on with this entire lady and why all of that happened, right? I think that is like one of the reasons why people are kind of interested in this entire thing as well. So what probably happened, it's TMZ. Most people know TMZ. It's like a shitty channel, shitty stuff, celebrity stuff. We know the Kanye thing when he was like in the TMZ. Like TMZ is shitty, right? It's shitty. It's pretty shitty content. Yeah, so shitty content company. She's standing there. They're clearly not like seeing her and identifying her and say, "Hey, that's her." And then she's standing and say, "You know what? I'll have a talk to her, talk with them." Clearly, if you think about this for more than 0.5 seconds, you know that they probably, because I don't know for sure, probably they gave her some money to do this interview. Okay, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, we'll give you $5,000. I don't know. Does she still have her job? Like if she's really a marketing director, but I also understand like it's kind of weird, right? People are like watching. She has a website. I know it's kind of weird, but let's say she could use the money and she's like, you know what? I can do a 3-minute clip interview where I don't say anything and I get some money. I'll do it. That is what my guess is, and that is pretty much it. What else can you take out of that? It's like, yeah, there was probably nothing. There was really nothing. She was like having an anxiety attack or whatever, and everyone is blowing it up and blah blah blah, because it was kind of weird and hilarious to see that footage of her saying that motherfucker is not real and the camera panning to the right, and like it was hilarious. Like the internet loves the entire footage and also loves her because it's just fucking hilarious. But on the other hand, the airplane was delayed and stuff like that, so she apologized and then people are like, she doesn't look like her, which is bullshit. So she's wearing like a similar top and now you can see it does really look like her. It does really look high. It is the same. It is the same lady. So those people saying, "Hey, it's not the same lady," that's ridiculous. It's clearly the same person.
You know, you alluded to what
just a friendly smile.
you saw, but like we just want to know, like, you know what?
We don't know what she saw.
What did you see?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Behavioral Arts.
All right, so here's the behavioral arts, nonverbal communication expert mentalist that turns the 3-minute video into like 33 minutes. So first promotion, I'm a mentalist.
Less more than she thinks she's telling us.
All right, let's turn down the speed. He talks a lot, so I have to turn down the speed a bit. Again, what does he say? Next to her,
marketing executive by the name of Tiffany.
Yeah, this background.
And just recently, a few days ago, TMZ caught up with Tiffany in an airport, and
they didn't caught up in the fact that they just saw her walking. Obviously, Mr. Mentalist, nonverbal communication expertist, professor, seriously, obviously they meet up with her. Obviously, they meet up with her. If you do not realize that while looking at this footage, then I don't know what to tell you.
finally asked her what it is that she saw on the plane. But what do her body language,
She doesn't say anything. That's basically the conclusion. That's why the video is so short and also not really interesting,
facial
actually.
expressions, and word choice reveal?
There's really nothing that you can take out of the... there is really nothing. He's like milking it because he's just a popular
And more importantly,
topic, you know?
why does her response tell us more than she thinks
No, it does not.
she's telling us?
No, it
Let's
does
dive
not.
right in.
Yeah, it does not. He's... Oh, God, it's so cringe. All right, let's see. So she's with him. I don't think they stumbled upon her. I don't know who that guy is, but like it really looks like, especially considering what she's wearing, the way she's wearing her hair, the earrings. I think she had those in the that motherfucker is in real footage as well. But what is she doing? She's just smiling politely. She's indeed tilting her head. But let's see.
I gotta ask you, how does it feel to be traveling again?
Great.
You know, in the airport again after.
She says great. I guess she's probably a little bit uncomfortable because it is the thing that is linked to, you know, that outburst and everything. So
A little bit of anxiety.
yeah, obviously, yeah, yeah, and I can kind of see it. She's like, yeah,
It's been good.
I think she's a bit nervous, but it's also TMZ, right?
Are you doing anything differently, like, you know, when you're getting ready to travel, or when...
I kind of don't feel like she's traveling at all. I think is this the departure, ground transport, restrooms. So this is arrival, it seems, because they're waiting for luggage, or you know, maybe she is coming back. I cannot imagine that they like stumbled upon her with the camera and they're like, hey, no.
Any new techniques you use?
No.
No?
Okay, so right off the bat,
Right off the bat, there is really nothing to mention, but let's see what he sees.
when I saw that clip, there are two massive
Massive, guys. Massive.
questions in my head about the entire content.
How did she end up there? They paid her probably like $5,000 or $10,000 because, yeah, it makes them relevant if they have relevant video and blah, blah, blah.
And we're going to get
Not that
to
big.
those, but I want to start with some body language stuff. So first,
Okay, so body language stuff. Let's see if there's
you'll
anything
notice that
relevant.
in this clip, as well as the rest of what we're about to see, very often, almost the entire time, her head is tilted like this.
Some people just listen like this. Yeah. They're like, yeah, I'm listening to you. Yeah, I'm listening to you. And he is now going to say, like, when they do this is kind of the opposite of walking away.
She's listening, as she's responding.
I mean, that is amazing
seeing a
insight.
Head tilt. The head tilt is a position that we study a lot in both sociology and in body language.
It's just someone that is listening.
And it's often seen
It's like emphasizing you're listening, but you're doing it subconsciously, but it's kind of a sign that you're actually paying attention and listening.
in people that are comfortable in a social situation.
Yeah, she's comfortable. She's a marketing director or
Notice
whatever.
when you tilt your head, you expose a very vulnerable part of your body, your neck. Typically when we're feeling
Yeah, I mean, if she's attacked and she's like holding her arms like this and like, yeah, obviously, yeah.
stressed or when we're feeling defensive, we tend to hide
Yeah, she met up with them to just give
parts
them
of our body that
some
are
answers
vulnerable. Wrists turn
and not.
inwards, we protect the neck. Now, I'm not saying that other things can't cause head tilt. Very often we're curious about
It's nothing.
that we connect
It's literally nothing. Like, yeah, she's just listening.
head tilt position. Now take that and add to it the fact that throughout this video she's smiling. I would
Have you seen any footage of her not smiling? Like her apology video, I think she smiles as well. Yeah, some people, they smile when they're uncomfortable or whatever, or they just want to feel, they just want to be seen as someone that is positive or whatever. Like a smile is a positive thing. So smiling when someone is interviewing you or whatever is pretty normal. Most women, or yeah, especially with women will do it more. But yeah. Nothing special.
say it's the most genuine smile where the eyes and the
It's the camera. It's TMZ. Who gives a fuck?
cheekbones are involved, and it's like this big smile with her whole face. But there is a pleasant smile. She's looking at him with a smile.
Guys, this is like he has a degree in nonverbal
She's
communication,
excited.
guys.
She giggles. We might giggle a little bit.
She giggles.
Minds is that here in the beginning, you'll notice her body is turned away from him, but
Yeah, she's kind of uncomfortable because, yeah, it's the airport. She already said I'm kind of anxious and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean, that could be
He
related.
does have her attention. She's listening.
Yeah, she's listening.
Where the feet.
There is nothing. There is nothing.
She turns her body towards him. She seems happy.
She's just talking. She met up with them. They probably paid her a little bit, so she would just talk to them. That's probably what happened.
Giggle. He has her. They don't have their
Nothing. Now he compares it to like celebrities that don't pay attention to the camera and walk away.
attention. There's no head tilt.
There's no head tilt with celebrities that don't want to be interviewed, guys. There's no head tilt with celebrities that are walking away from the camera, guys. Guys, do you see the difference between that and her talking to the guy? Do you see it, guys? Do you see it, guys? Do you see the body language differences, guys?
smile. They're just ignoring them and just.
Yeah, do you see the body language comparison, guys, between ignoring and walking away and actually engaging with someone?
Walking away, staying on their
Oh my God, it's such a difference, guys.
path. None of them is facing the paparazzi.
None of them is facing the paparazzi. So he's now pretending as if they just stumbled upon her, which is kind of a dumbass thing to think because it really does look like they met up. They met
A
up.
lot of celebrities do this. That's not the vibe we're getting.
No, we're not getting that vibe, are we? Or we're getting the vibe that she's actually engaging with them instead of walking away, right?
She's
Like this is the quality of these
okay talking.
body language
I would even say
body language channels, and they fucking annoy me. They all annoy me. There aren't that many that are good. There's one new one that I found with some doctor guy who is like making some comments, who is semi-interesting, but God, most of them are so fucking cringe. And they built an entire media platform around like, oh, I'm like the body language expert,
she's
you
quite
know?
comfortable talking to him. Now again, when I saw this video, before even looking at the body language, there were two things that I was really wondering.
One is yeah, why is she talking to them?
The first question is how or why is this interview even happening?
They paid her, that's probably what
And
happened.
it's interesting because of all the questions and all the theories that I'm seeing in the comments on this video, no one's really asking, how did this interview come to exist? Why is
It looks like they paid her for a short interview.
this interview?
Let's
because
skip.
a lot of people may not realize exactly
And he's going to explain TMZ, like TMZ,
how TMZ works. Not exactly.
because
how it
he's been on
works. If you
TMZ.
assume that the TMZ
He's like, yeah, I'm not going to
reporter
comment
is
on that
the
shit.
closest reporter that they have, my publicist, my PR
It's a shitty entertainment channel
agent,
thing.
actually called TMZ in with a tip and said, hey, Spidey from
So let's go back.
the renowned Friars Club in New York City, and my publicist, my PR agent, actually called TMZ
You called TMZ, so you called TMZ, hey, I'm
with
interesting.
a tip and said, hey, Spidey from TV and from YouTube is performing at the Friars Club from this time to this time. So when I walked out after my performance, there was a reporter there waiting for me.
The same thing, like I'll wear something very similar. Yeah, and I'll do my hair in a similar way. All right, yeah, but I need 10K then. Fuck. Okay, you're getting 10K. That's basically it.
And has her hair the exact same way as you look a certain thing that the first is that she really doesn't mind being
God, this is so.
recognized. Actually,
I'm gonna skip all of
a
this.
couple of weeks ago on her Instagram, she released an apology video. And in that video, she looked
Yeah, it's just an apology video. There's not a lot to say. She apologized because she knows she messed up. Kind of uncomfortable, anxious. That's why she has a nervous smile somewhere in the video as well. She's trying to be funny a bit and I don't know. It's fine. There's not a lot to say about it.
significantly different than when she was.
This is what a lot of people said. Like, hey, she looks so different. It's not the same person. People saying that are idiots. Are idiots. Idiots. So keep that in mind. That is what he's making his videos for.
Her hair was down. She had a bunch of makeup on. And this led to a lot of commenters saying, that's not her.
Idiots. Idiots that do not realize if you put your hair up differently or whatever, you look different. Anyone with like 2 brain cells would have seen like, hey, it's the same one. Then the other point, why the fuck would someone else go pretend to be the airplane Karen lady? No fucking person would go and destroy their own reputation. I know that a lot of people are actually fans of that motherfucker there is not real. But like, generally speaking, people consider her to be the airplane Karen that has lost her mind, that is telling people that that motherfucker is not real, while everyone agrees that that motherfucker probably is real, right? If that motherfucker is not real and he's sitting in that chair, did they not sell a plane ticket for that chair? It was like empty. There was like an empty seat. Like we saw the video. All the seats were taken. It's weird. It's weird, and that's it.
Comments of people saying that's not even.
I don't think that had an impact. I think it's TMZ asking her, okay, please wear something that makes you look similar. Maybe they asked because in the video, all comments, people are saying that's not her. Like, it's really not important.
And the way she looked in that original mouth is very.
So do you really think she's doing the same thing? She's wearing the same thing because she wants to make sure that people now don't doubt that it is actually her? It is in her benefit for people to not think it is her. That is in her benefit. She does not like that this shit happened. I think that we can agree upon. She does not like that this happened and that it turned her into airplane Karen. She does not like that fact. So for her to wear the same earrings, do her hair kind of in a similar way or whatever, I don't know if she was wearing the same earrings, but clearly she's wearing like a top that looks similar to what she was wearing there, right? It's a different color, but it's a similar top, right? Why would she on her own think, hey, let me do that? I really want people to believe that was actually me. The people that do not believe it was her, she's probably happy with those people because she's not proud. It was not a proud moment. I know people are telling her, like, you can turn this shit around because lots of people think you're freaking funny and just the way you talk and that motherfucker isn't real. People are buying t-shirts, whatever. She's a marketing director, so maybe she's trying to look at it in a way where she can turn things around.
Similar to the apology video. A lot of her features are very similar to that.
Her features have not changed, my dude. It's the same person. Are you seriously saying her features are similar?
Point between those two, like we the way she looked in that original viral video, and I think it's done quite effectively because if we look at her in this video, she looks like the middle point between those two.
She looks like the middle point between those two. She looks like the middle point between those two.
Like we certainly.
What is the middle point, my guy? Her hair is the same. She's wearing a similar top. The top is a different color. That's it.
See, her mouth is very similar.
Her mouth is similar, you guys. It's the same person. Her mouth is very, very similar
to the apology video.
Her mouth is similar to the apology video, but it's kind of in between the apology video and that motherfucker ain't real.
Similar to that.
Her features are the same, guys. Do you think features change without plastic surgery and shit?
But overall, she looks a heck of a lot closer to the way she did.
Because her hair is the same and she's wearing a similar top. Yes, she is. She's at the airport and TMZ probably asked her, like, can you please wear some stuff that makes you look like her? Because, yeah, we saw with the other video that some people don't actually believe it's you. We're willing to pay that 10K, but we need you to wear, like, similar clothing.
On that
sure,
plane.
I'll do it.
So this
because that, I mean, the clothing makes her look good. It's fine. She was wearing the clothing because she thinks she looks good in that clothing and the way she's having her hair. Who cares?
Look, it is
not relevant.
When I put my hair up and do it this
you put your hair
way,
up?
I look a lot more like I did on that.
10 minutes, 33% of the video is basically just bullshit.
No one has come out from her circle. Her friends, her family members, not being the same woman from the plane. Because
let me listen.
She must have had some sort of knowledge about this appearance. Before we move on,
duh.
Just a quick note about
it's fucking TMZ, dude. You either walk away or you're paid to talk.
This not being the same woman from the plane.
Or you ask them, please, please, please interview me as I walk out of that thing and do my magic trick.
Some commenters out there are saying, oh my God, that's not even her. So
those are idiots. Those are idiots. He's entertaining idiots.
It's definitely her because everything is possible. I'm just saying she looked come out
Listen.
publicly and said, hey, by the way, guys, I know the woman on the plane. That's my cousin. That's my coworker. This isn't her. So we got to think a little bit further than just saying, oh, she looks different, must not be her. Because think about it.
Idiots.
If my sister went viral for footage of her on a plane, and then all of a sudden this random woman came out saying she's her, sorry about that, I want to apologize to everyone on that plane, I would come out and be like, excuse me guys, that woman on the plane, that was my sister.
Let's let this one sink in a bit. So something happened that is really embarrassing, right? And he's saying if someone else stepped up and said that's me, and it's actually my sister that is very embarrassed that is actually her, I would go and reach out to TMZ and say, hey, that motherfucker is lying. It was my sister, and this is her name. This is where she lives. This is her phone number. Like, what is the incentive to say, hey, it is actually my sister? There is no incentive. She's embarrassed that this shit happens. She's kind of trying to turn it around. TMZ is willing to pay her. She has some fans. She can probably start an OnlyFans. Blah, 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 blah. She's trying to turn it around. I don't think she's starting an OnlyFans, but I think people would subscribe if she did.
This isn't her. So someone, all of them,
Just
spawn
bullshit.
Investigations on for more behavioral.
A lot of people are curious
Yeah.
what
She basically doesn't say anything.
exactly you saw, because
I know.
you alluded to what you saw, but like we just want to know, like
Yeah.
what did you see?
I mean, thanks for asking that. But
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
I have been
So they probably paid her, and she said, I can't say anything. And they're like, it's fine if we can just interview you at the airport and you're wearing kind of similar clothes.
told I cannot comment on it right now.
I see.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, he turned this into a 33-minute video. A 3-minute video with her saying, I can't say shit. He turned it into half an hour.
So
Imagine how much money does he make? 170,000 views with nothing.
when I heard that answer, a movie scene played in my head. And I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's Avengers Endgame where
I have not seen that movie. How old are you?
it goes, I felt like, because it's
Skip.
this, brings more color. Or it
We also sometimes see someone stick out the
could
tongue.
be that one of the only
She's just being friendly. She's kind of nervous. She's excited, blah, blah, blah. She's not used to being in front of the camera, blah, 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 blah.
species on the front of her.
Don't turn it into something bigger, something that it is not.
We see her lips pull back, and
This is such
we
bullshit.
even hear that click as she goes,
Because
and we see the veins on her neck even pop.
With some people, you do see those a lot. So I think if you go back to that motherfucker ain't real, you'll see the veins pop on her neck. I think that is just something that you see a lot. She does a lot of these facial expression stuff. I think it's normal.
Out. And this is a very common expression that we see where we hear this like this,
What does that say?
and it's often related to something
Like, I can't really tell you anything, right? It's related to, I can't tell you anything because my lawyer told me, hey, we might get sued and shit. I'm not allowed to say what I saw. So I can't tell you anything. That is it.
coming close, but not happening. So if she goes facing it,
It's just bullshit. It's just nothing. It's just fucking nothing.
so her attention
And
has
it pisses me off because it's like built, this entire thing built around nothing. Around nothing.
been turned towards him. So
She can't give him anything. We already knew this. They called her. They probably paid her. And she's like, I can't give you anything. I will pay you $10,000 if you wear the same clothing. Yeah, okay, fuck that shit. Why not?
I think there's a bit of a conflict here. I think that she is okay answering these questions. She's okay with the attention. She's okay with talking to the press, but she's a little bit nervous about answering.
Bullshit. I think she stepped into the meeting in the interview and she knew she can't say anything. I think her lawyer said, hey, we might get sued, so you can't say anything. I think TMZ talked to her and said, we'll pay you $10K if you wear the same clothing and look a lot more like her, but you don't really have to answer anything. And she's like, I can't answer anything. And they're like, you already told us you can't answer anything. And I said, yeah, I really want you to know I can't answer anything, right? And they're like, yeah, it's totally fine if you can't answer anything. You just respond to the question and say you can't answer anything. That is what happened.
Specifically what it is she saw. I think she's very carefully selecting her words.
Because she might get sued.
But why is she so careful about it?
I'm starting my own channel. And I'm going to do like I was thinking about doing like a channel where I just analyze the facial expressions of these facial expression experts, but like
Words. And
Jesus
why is
Christ,
that her approach you?
God, this is so nothing.
Government agencies are not the only people who could have advised her to not talk
Government agencies advised her not to talk.
about. Not a cover-up if she's telling us she's been silenced. Let's
Silenced by government agencies because they realized she saw a motherfucker that ain't real. And now everyone might find out that in that airplane there was a motherfucker that wasn't real. That's what this guy is saying.
consider the option that government agencies are not the only people who could have advised her.
It could have been one of those motherfuckers that ain't real that told her, hey, don't tell anyone that it was actually me that wasn't real.
To not talk about this.
Dude, she had a mental breakdown. She had a fucking mental breakdown. She's embarrassed. But yeah, she's also getting some positive reactions, even though it actually should not be the case. But like, it was funny. It's a meme.
There's a lot of other people. It could have. She works in marketing, so it could have been that some.
Normally, what you would expect for her is to not tell everyone that it is her. She did because she felt like, hey, I had to come out and say, right? But also people were buying probably t-shirts with her on it or whatever. She's trying to turn it around. That is it. She's trying to turn it around. She's trying to turn it around. That is it.
Somebody
That is it.
around her who understands publicity or PR could have advised her.
Skip.
The same, and bring in this actress to replace her.
God. Skip.
Literally. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think.
There is nothing you think is of value. Nothing you will add in this video is of value to anyone. It's just purely entertainment. What he is doing, and I think people need to understand this, is milking it. We have something, people are interested in that topic. I can talk bullshit about that topic for like an hour. Like, yeah, that gives me money. I can become rich by talking bullshit about bullshit because bullshit is really popular at that moment. I'll just create a video and I'll just talk bullshit. And probably they talk for like an hour or something, and then they pay someone, an editor, to just select the parts that they think are interesting themselves, and then they put it into a video, 33 minutes, and then that's it. There is literally nothing to be said. TMZ paid her probably to do a short interview, but she told them, I cannot tell you anything, and said, it's fucking fine. That's it.
Even released.
Because TMZ paid her.
I made a video on the channel, and it was all about how to answer questions when you don't know the answer.
How to answer questions when you don't know the answer. I don't know the answer.
So if you're ever asked a question and you don't know how to formulate an answer,
sorry, I don't know how to respond.
or you don't know what the answer is,
Sorry, I can't answer that one right now. Sorry, I need some time to come up with an answer. I can't give you an answer on the spot.
how to navigate a situation like
Sorry, I can't answer that question. Sorry, it's difficult for me to answer that question.
that to make it not awkward.
Not awkward.
And
It's just all so much
then
bullshit.
Obviously not knowing the answer or stumbling on your words, just create a moment of curiosity. It brings people in. And that's exactly what she's doing here.
Create a moment of curiosity because that brings people in. So he's saying she's playing 5D chess. she's there. She knows she can't answer, and she's really kind of bothered by the fact that she can't really give an answer. So she's trying to come up with strategies to make it still more interesting. Like, bullshit. Bullshit. She wants it to be done and get over with, and she wants to move on.
So let's activate our profiling skills. On the channel, quite
Activate our profiling skills, guys.
often I talk about how I use profiling in my mentalism show. So as a mentalist, as an
I'm skipping this shit.
it's a couple of $1,000s right there. So we look at her in that initial video on the plane and the way she travels. She's wearing things that are rather stylish. She's holding a Goyard bag, and that's a couple of $1,000s right
So,
there. So there are certain indications that she's giving as to what her priorities are.
because she has a relatively expensive handbag, she works a job where she has enough money to buy like an expensive handbag. Just like how guys that have like management jobs or whatever buy expensive watches. And that tells you everything about their priorities, because that's kind of pocket change for them. It's not that big of a deal.
So let's make this a multiple choice question.
I bet you are holding handbags that are really expensive as
I'm
well.
going to give you 3 of the more common needs that I can identify in people in the way that they behave and with their body language. And you tell me which one you think applies the most to Tiffany
All right, we're going to listen to this shit.
from these 3.
Let's see.
So we'll start with information and intelligence.
What can you say about her intelligence?
So these are people who often speak in terms of data, and collecting information is...
He
most
talks
important.
really
So for example,
slow,
like that would be
so it feels kind of deliberate to extend the video
Elon
length.
Musk. Very factual, gets to the point, wants the facts. Second, we'll go with status and significance. So these are people who put a lot of focus on the way they come off, the things that they do, and the ways in
Oh, he puts people in a category like, hey, intelligence, status, like Elon Musk checks second as well, right? It's really important to him
which they're talked about. So the Kardashians
that people see him as Elon Musk, that he's recognized, you know? He really loves that.
are a really good example of that.
These are all bad examples of
And the
whatever.
third one, we'll go with freedom and independence. And these are people who put a lot of focus on the freedom to speak, the freedom to think,
What are these 3 categories? So some people are really on status. They want to be important, seen as important. Some people want to be seen as intelligent. And that is Elon Musk. He only wants to be seen as intelligence, not status. Bullshit. Bullshit. I think people automatically assume intelligence, so he's not too worried about that. I think he's really more about status and significance. I think he wants to be seen as like one of the young'uns. Like, you know, he wants to pretend as if he has that connection with the young people, blah, 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 that older boomers do not have. And freedom to be freedom of speech.
freedom to anything. And a really good example of that would be, for example, Russell Brand. So
Okay. So I think Russell Brand does feel like he's very intelligent. I watched his shows from back in the day. Like, he's pretty funny. I think I can have a good conversation with the guy. I think he kind of went off the rails with his podcast. And I think there he's just basically following the algorithm and creating the show that he sees people like to watch, right? Criticizing the mainstream narrative and the woke agenda, and like and like everyone is doing that is like doing stuff about it, like they know, like, hey, that actually makes a lot of money. So I feel like, yeah, so regarding status significance, I don't think he cares about that too much. He went all out with drugs and sex. He fucked all the bitches, and then I think that is kind of out of his system, so he doesn't care about that shit anymore. And I think for him it's important to say what he wants to say or whatever. So like, so for him, it's like Russell Brand is like freedom of speech guy. Like, yeah, you could say that shit about so many other people as well.
by the way, I'm not saying Russell
This is completely bullshit.
Brand doesn't want information. I'm not saying
You're not saying anything.
then traveling in absolute doing that she thinks
You're going to put her in one of those 3 categories based on that motherfucker ain't
are
real?
important, significant. So she wants significance and status. She currently articles or research or anything like that. It's more about her interesting life. And when all this happened, she set up some charities, and she's going to go on in this video and talk about
She's trying to turn the negative shit around.
nonprofits.
And then
things she's doing that she thinks are important, significant.
He puts her in category. It's such a bullshit.
So I'm going to build a lot more on this in the conclusion. So for now, let's just keep moving.
Are you going to have a full kind of interview somewhere, or what's going on with the deal? What's the plan on?
Going, I feel like it's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
She's saying I will eventually have to say what I saw and why that motherfucker isn't real.
So yes, there's some things in the works.
Yeah, there's some things in the works, so she will eventually say it, but TMZ didn't pay her enough to say it there. Maybe she's still worried that she'll get a lawsuit because the airplane was delayed and this and that.
Nonprofit charity stuff. But I've been trying to lay low for the most part. But
Yeah, she has been trying to lay low, but she had to do the apology. I do feel like she's kind of trying to turn it around, so she's not just trying to lay low, because let's face it, you're talking to TM motherfucking Z. If you're talking to T fucking Z, TMZ, you don't give a shit about lay low, right? You got paid, probably.
Wow, talk about non-answer statement. So very often,
Non-answer statement. Talk about non-answer statement. God, dude, there is nothing in this video, dude.
that we do commonly when we're stressed. So when we see a lot of these things happening at the same time, it makes us go, okay, that's interesting. Why is that happening in this moment?
There is nothing in this video, dude.
That aren't the epitome of trying to lay low.
I do want to know, you won't say to me what you saw right now.
Yeah, we talked to each other on the phone. I told you I'll pay you 10K if you come to the airport wearing the same shit that you were wearing when you said that motherfucker ain't real. Hey, I can't say anything to you because you know what? I promised maybe someone else that paid me 50K to go on the Late Show and then talk about the shit that I saw. Maybe if I tell you that shit, they will not have me on the show because they don't have the scoop, right? So they're just playing along. If I look at her face right now, that face to me is a face that says yeah, we talked about this shit. Yeah, you know what I'm going to say. So yeah, thanks for asking that question. And we already agreed that I would not say anything.
But what about, what was the reason that you wanted to get off?
There is I can see in her face.
She's out here on TMZ dressed the exact same.
This is the only thing that we can see. Kind of see in her face that she has recognition, like we discussed this. Look at her face. See that smile? See that smile? Mr. Verbal Communicationist, Mr. Mentalist, Mr. Professor Nonverbal Communication Analysis, Category 3 Category Professionalist. He's not seeing that, is he? Is he not seeing that? Is he not seeing the recognition here? Hey, we talked about this shit before. No. Because he's just winging it. He just starts the video like I'm doing it right now. He just starts the video and start talking about shit.
Again, can't speak on that right now. But I was distressed and I was getting off the plane. No matter what, I just probably didn't need to make the scene that I made.
I mean, obviously, you said that motherfucker ain't real, so people have questions.
But I was getting off that plane for sure.
Right. And you
Yeah, because that motherfucker ain't real.
even now.
100%.
All right, so
Well, okay,
body language, a lot of the same stuff from before. We still see that smile. She
Nothing, because we have nothing. She's just talking to TMZ because they probably paid her.
seems happy to talk to him. That head tilt is still there. In fact, the person that she's with at some point says, "All right, just got here," and she's much more dismissive towards him than towards the reporters. Yeah. And she turns back with that smile to keep talking to the.
Because she had an appointment with the reporter.
But what about, what was the reason that you wanted to get?
So again, if this is someone who is trying to lay low and doesn't want the attention, we would see,
You would not talk to motherfucking T motherfucking M for the motherfucking Z if you want to lay low. Clear. Done.
getting off that plane. And again, that creates curiosity. It gets people to talk. Even if she thought there was good reason to not be on board that plane, that is real to her. It's not a confirmation of.
We're gonna listen because I think he really thinks he makes a good point here. Let's listen.
Everything was fine. Nobody from staff said there was anything wrong with the plane.
Yeah, because that motherfucker was real.
So even if she had a reason to get
Even if she thought that motherfucker wasn't real,
off, even if she
that motherfucker was real.
thought there was good reason to not be on board that plane,
She thought the motherfucker wasn't real.
that is real to her. It's not
The motherfucker was really not real to her. That is why we're all still interested in what she was seeing and why she said that motherfucker isn't real, because people are typically real.
a confirmation of anything. I'm not invalidating her experience.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I'm not saying
You talked 30 minutes about nothing. There was nothing.
that she had no right to be scared from whatever it is she thought she was experiencing. Whatever it is, I agree with her. Maybe the way she acted was a little much, but if she felt something,
Maybe the way she acted was a little much, dude. She said that motherfucker ain't real. Out loud. Yeah, that's fucking weird. It is fucking weird. The entire world is like, what the fuck are you saying? And she's milking it. And trying to turn the negative press around. And she's lucky that it's a pretty girl. If it was not a pretty girl, or woman, the interest in this entire thing probably would have been a bit less. I think a lot of guys think she is pretty cute.
Personal. She feels she saw something that
I think she's cute.
made her have to leave that plane. That's totally fine to her. But the people who are taking that as a confirmation that she must have seen whatever it is, whatever they want to believe in, that is not confirmation of that. Okay, she felt something personal. She feels she saw something that made her have to leave that plane. That's totally fine to her. But the people who are taking that as a confirmation that she must have seen whatever it is, whatever they want to believe in.
She said that motherfucker ain't real. We don't know. We assume that that motherfucker was real. Everything seems to point out that the motherfucker was real, and she lost her AirPods and had a mental breakdown, and that's it. And people actually should just move on from this shit. But like, yeah, she's trying to turn it around and turn it into a thing. She could have just not said anything. She could. She could have just not said anything. She could. People were pointing out, I think, her name or whatever. She could still just not talk. Ignore. Deny. Ignore, deny. That's not me. I mean, in her apology video, people even claimed that it's not her. She could have just claimed, yeah, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. You're not obliged to entertain the entertainment industry, right? The non-verbal communicationist industry or whatever. So yeah, she could have just denied, but she didn't because she probably saw there's some positivity to be gained from this as well. Turn it around. It's your time to shine. You're now a celebrity. Is there stuff you want to do as a celebrity? Who knows? Maybe she'll have her own late show.
That is not confirmation of that. Okay, so what does it all come down to? We have
it comes down to someone having a mental breakdown that was captured on a phone. She's pretty, so that makes it all interesting. And then yeah, everyone knows everything that there is to need to know.
Talk to a reporter, even if she's saying I've been trying to lay low. There are certain indications that she hasn't. We're seeing
indications that she hasn't. Yeah.
Some stress around being asked to tell us what happened on that plane.
Obviously, because it's embarrassing.
She seems quite.
He says literally nothing.
This is a panic moment of stress. Nothing to see her. They moved on with their lives. They're not hanging around. We're still talking about this.
Skip.
What she has, the information, because it keeps the interest of specifically the people who are keeping her relevant. So can it be that she saw something unexplainable, supernatural on that plane? I think it's certainly possible.
The motherfucker she saw on the airplane was real. My dude.
But she has never, until this moment, come out and stated that. There was no point where she said, I saw a ghost, I saw a shapeshifter, I saw an alien.
Because she can be sued. Because she promised to share the story on a late show for more money.
Saw anything, insert anything. These are all, and that's fine. It's possible. All these things are possible.
33 minutes. It's just, here's the bottom line. 33 minutes of bullshit. Stop watching these body language experts react to shit. There is nothing. If you want to watch these videos, watch videos of people analyzing like really old footage, you know, with the old serial killers or whatever, where we have the long form interviews with them. Those are relatively interesting, right? Because those are psychopaths and like they're teaching you like, hey, how can you see that this person, because we know that they actually killed all those people and blah, 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 blah. Some of them are interesting. This is really not interesting. There is really nothing interesting about this 3-minute footage that we just watched of her saying, yeah, I can't say anything. That's it. There is nothing interesting about it. And turning it around and saying, you know what, let me just talk about that shit for half an hour and then, you know, I'll have 1 million views of people because they're interested in that story. Like, did she say shit? If he didn't upload his video, everyone would have seen only the 3-minute video and they knew there wasn't any shit to discuss. There was really nothing. They knew. But no, they watched 33 minutes of someone saying bullshit about the 3-minute video with nothing. Stop wasting your fucking time watching bullshit on YouTube.
She hasn't. I look forward to her saying it.
It's fucking ridiculous. I'm out.
For sure, something supernatural that took place on